In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a startup marketing blueprint. I'm going to be going over 60 different blog posts that I think any startup or SaaS company should make in order to drive organic conversions. If you're new here, my name is Nick. I've got about 10 years of experience helping SaaS companies and startups grow, take their marketing kind of from 0 to 1, building processes and helping them understand how to produce content at scale. And on this channel, I break things down. If you're a solopreneur or a founder and you're trying to do these things yourself, I hope you find these videos helpful as I take a look at other landing pages and things that are going well out there in the micro SaaS startup community. To be able to apply to your own business, or if you are a marketing lead like myself, hopefully you find some of these content pieces helpful. I've decided to make this video because I often hear from founders or friends who are working on new products, little micro ideas, that marketing feels like the hardest part of the process, that they feel like they have the product figured out, they're able to go and build something, they maybe have some technical skills or a background and could just jump straight into making and building something and launching it online. But then inevitably there's kind of a big dip or a drop off after you launch something. You're like, okay, cool, how do I get people to use this or discover this? So I'm going to be getting into here just a second some organic content ideas that I think almost any business can implement, kind of depending on their use case. I'll be talking about why I think those pieces of content in particular are helpful. All right, let's jump straight into it. We're going to dive off the deep end, jump straight into content ideas, organic content ideas for organic growth. I picked the number 60 because I'm going to go over kind of 6 different content types. And I think no matter what type of business you have, you should be testing kind of 5 or 6 types of content on your blog or wherever you host organic content for your site. I think it's really important that you start to learn which of these ideas maybe convert at a higher rate or drive more traffic, more revenue, those sorts of things. It just so happens this is not intentional or sponsored in any way, but plausible.io would probably be a good place to start doing that. All right, let's jump straight into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about, we're going to kind of think backwards through the marketing funnel. A marketing funnel, these acronyms that I have here in reverse order are bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, and top of funnel. This kind of refers to where your potential customers are in a buying phase. At the very end, I'm going to talk about the top of funnel. This is usually the widest part of the marketing funnel. This is tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people who are generally in the right ecosystem for a product like yours, but are probably not yet ready to buy. A maybe more mundane example is if you sell lawnmowers or maybe gardening equipment of some kind, your potential audience or potential top of funnel market is anybody with a garden. That's anybody who owns a home, an apartment building, plant pots, soil purchasers, basically anybody interested in gardening in general, but they may not necessarily be interested in your product just yet. So anyway, the first piece of content that I think basically any startup should be creating is blog posts or case studies targeting the keyword or idea best solution for a problem. In the case of plausible.io, that is things like best analytics for e-commerce sites, best analytics platform for SaaS. The people who are searching these types of queries on Google, even though there are very few, I mentioned that up here, there's kind of a low search volume in general of people who might be searching for an analytics solution, specifically for SaaS in this case. Even though that's low, there is a very high intent behind those purchases. This should probably say purchases instead of search. There is a high purchase intent among those people, even though there's a small group of them. They are actively looking for an analytics platform. Plausible.io sells that. Whatever your startup is, I don't care if you sell buttons. If you sell buttons for homepages, this should be how to install, best buttons for e-commerce sites, best buttons for SaaS companies. Whatever market you are in, who are your ideal customers, and how is your product the best solution for that particular pain point. Your blog, the very first pieces of content I think any business should make is, what is the best blank for blank demographic of people, best solution for this group. If you are not solving a problem with your SaaS, you have a product problem. But if your product is clearly identified as a solution already, and you are trying to help a very real customer group out there, you should be first creating pages and blog posts, best solution that you have created, best button maker, best analytics platform for these people. Again, low search volume, but very high purchasing intent. Very similar to this, some real examples from Plausible.io's blog as well, is how to solve a known problem. The people who are searching for these types of queries or these types of help me, I'm facing this problem, are people who are already in the market or mind space of purchasing a product just like yours. People in this case that are searching for how to track users with privacy embedded into it are already looking for a solution, paid or free. That's up for the market to decide about the value of a product like that. But when I'm a customer and I'm searching for, I want to track users on my website, but with privacy, I'm so far down the rabbit hole of being ready to make a purchasing decision for this particular product that this is low-hanging fruit. Again, going back to that idea, if your product solves problems, try to create content that is how to do blank, how to put a button on my homepage. Going back to that button exam, that random button example. Here, all of these solutions, tracking users with privacy, removing Google Analytics, these are all things, features of Plausible. So whatever your list of features is for your SaaS or for your startup, you should be creating blog posts of how to solve blank problem. We make buttons in vanilla JavaScript, whatever it is, how to make buttons in vanilla JavaScript. That's the pain point that you are solving with your product. This, even though this might be on your homepage, don't make the mistake of not creating dedicated content that is just full of richness and depth that, of course, mentions your product as well. The last bottom of funnel piece of content I think every business needs to make is alternatives. This one is maybe a little contentious depending on the market that you're entering. If you have a startup that doesn't have any competitors, then you might have a product, you might be sitting on a gold mine, or you might not have a product market fit yet. There might be other people who have explored that space and decided to pivot out of it. If there are no competitors in your space, I would be asking questions like, why not? Is it just too good of an idea? Nobody's thought of it yet? Or is there a reason people have pivoted out and you're not seeing any competition? But if there are a lot of competitors, which there probably are for whatever you're doing, other people probably have a similar idea, you should be making content about alternatives to those other solutions. In Plausible's case, Google Analytics and Cloudflare come up as ideas, but there are dozens of analytics alternatives out there these days. So even though these were the ones that I pulled as an example in here, you should try to, or excuse me, even though these are the ones that I pulled as examples in here, there are obviously dozens of these alternatives to blank product. Look for the alternatives and competitors to your space. It would obviously help you in terms of product research and things like that. But yeah, great organic content that I think converts at high value, high volume. One maybe potential downside that I'll flag before we keep moving, when your brand eventually gets to a certain size, or you start trying to compete for longer LTV or differentiating yourself in some unique way in the market space, competitor-based content starts to maybe not look as good for your brand when you are continually anchoring yourself as an alternative or a different version of something that already exists. If your product advances enough, at some point it will probably not make sense for you to have this type of content featured prominently on your homepage. But when you're getting going, I really recommend this type of content, alternatives to competitor. All right. So this is 3 bottom of funnel blog post types that I think apply to every healthy SaaS or startup idea. If you've built something that is a solution to a problem or for a specific group of users, in the case up here, analytics for e-commerce, analytics for SaaS, analytics alternative for Squarespace, either building content for different user groups who would all take advantage of your product, or how your product solves each individual use case. There's probably 8 different ways that your product solves a unique problem, or 10 whatever competitors out there, alternatives. All of the people that are searching for these bottom of funnel concepts are ready to buy. They're ready to jump in and make a purchasing decision about your product. I guess rolling back up to the idea real quick of there being 60 pieces of content that I'm going to go through here today. I really encourage anybody who's watching this to make multiple pieces, basically make 10 of each of these as best you can. Obviously, there might not be 10 competitors to you in the space, and that's okay. You can repurpose your efforts elsewhere. But if your product does not solve enough use cases, that you are not able to make enough how to solve problem blog posts, or you don't have enough specific users or use cases out there yet, either consider expanding your product to address more people, or think about how can you get more creative in framing some of these features or benefits to different groups of people so that you can start to make tens of these types of blog posts. I would love to see basically, like, we'll call it 25 blog posts out of this, maybe 30. Maybe 30. Cool. Let's just keep moving. Try to keep this as succinct as possible. Next, let's talk about the middle of funnel. Now, these are people that are searching, maybe in larger volumes, but they are not yet, I don't know why I got this typo wrong. They are not yet ready to purchase. They might have an idea that products exist to solve their problem, but they are not yet in a mindset of, I am making this search because I am looking for something right now to buy to solve my problem. In Plausible's case, this is maybe what they consider the middle of funnel. These are potentially interested users that if they could get them into an email flow or some sort of free trial, they could eventually upsell them, show them the value of Plausible. But right now, the people that are looking at this type of organic content that is, I would say, maybe a little less important than creating that bottom of funnel content, that primary problem solving. But these are still people whose attention could be captured if the product is right. In Plausible's case, these are some of the blog posts that are currently ranking really well for them. How to collect user analytics, how to measure site traffic, tracking 404 errors. These are all things that people who are interested in analytics solutions are probably Googling or trying to solve a problem. I have here solving an unknown problem, but this is basically meant to exemplify that the users are not yet aware of what Plausible even is, but they are aware of some problem that they're facing or something they're trying to solve. They don't yet know how to solve it, though. They're not looking with high intent. I already know I need an analytics platform that's an alternative to Google. Here's what my budget is, blank, 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 blank. That doesn't exist for these folks yet. This is a layer above. The goal of this type of content is to grow your marketing funnel of interested people. Some percentage of those folks up there can probably be convinced that Plausible is a good fit for what they are trying to do. They are trying to find user analytics or track user analytics. Plausible is a good fit. They're trying to measure site traffic. Plausible is a good fit. Tracking 404 errors. Plausible is a good fit. So when you're building your own startup or your SaaS, think about what types of problems your users are trying to solve that you don't yet have features for, but they are in the maybe same emotional headspace as it. If you have a productivity app, instead of your bottom of funnel is like, how do I better track my gym workouts, on my iPhone? And it's like really high intent traffic. The layer above that is, like, how do I build a fitness plan for myself on my iPhone? How do I track workouts on my iPhone? There's like a problem statement, a psychographic of the people you are trying to attract, but they are not yet at the point of realizing that they need a dedicated task manager or a dedicated analytics solution available from Plausible. So again, I'm just going to type out here. I think there are easily, I'm just going to commit and say 15 to 20 blog posts for this. What are the ideal, or what is your ideal psychographic user searching for? A layer above the actual solution. How do I do something generally that this product might be a good fit for, and take them from there, lead them on a journey to convince them why this is important. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about, and I would honestly consider this the least important, this is at such time that you feel like you've really truly exhausted those bottom of funnel, middle of funnel blog posts. There will become a point, obviously, as with any content marketing strategy, where the ideal user base will eventually be exhausted. And then you have to make a decision. Do we expand the product or build the product in a new way that reaches out to another new group of users? Or do we find better, more effective ways at continuing in the same ecosystem? Let's not build any more new product, but let's convince even more people farther up the funnel to come down. Let's really convince them they need to purchase this product right now. This type of top of funnel content, as it's usually known, maybe is the greatest affected by some of the SEO, AI content generation stuff that's going on right now, where AI previews are appearing at the top of searches. But for right now, these can still be an effective vehicle to produce for your site for SEO. And as I'll talk about maybe at the end, is if you produce these types of top of funnel content, you can also turn them into videos or other pieces of media that don't just have to be on your blog for SEO purposes. In Plausible's case, they have pages like, what is a marketing funnel? How do I optimize a marketing funnel? Or what is funnel optimization? These are topics very, very wide that just explain industry terms or industry level concepts related to the problem that they solve, which is, of course, analytics. I'm not sure if they have it yet, but I'm going to probably assume they probably have a blog post as well, like what is web analytics or something specific to the topic of the problem that their product solves. This is very general. This type of content does not convert well. I should probably leave a note up there about this. This does not convert well. High search volume as well. I would not recommend starting here, obviously, but maybe something to work up to. And then the final piece of top of funnel content that I think actually lives somewhere between tofu and mofu, but all of these acronyms, I don't think we need to add another layer of complexity here. There are probably ideal customer personas for your particular product, or hopefully there are, or you're able to think about, like, my target audience is solo developers who build Vercel apps or Vercel blogs or something, and my product does blank for those people. Try to think about ways that you can create content that are other projects or problems that those people are trying to solve. I just made this example here, how to build a blog with Vercel. There's probably like 1,001 ways to host a Vercel blog. These are things that are related to the problem that I'm solving. If I was building a blog, I would probably need analytics. So think about think about problems that your customers are also facing and help them solve those problems as well. So a step before installing analytics is, of course, building a website. And I'm not even going to type out all of the variations of people or ways to create content of how to build a website, but you probably get the idea that there's 50 different, how to build a Wix website, Squarespace website, WordPress website, how to build a blog with Vercel, how to build a blog with, on down the line. all of those are use cases of people, or are people at the very top of funnel who would eventually want to move in a layer and purchase an analytics product, or maybe use one for free, and then down the funnel to track more and more visitors up to the actual use case. Top of funnel content is generally underperforming. It doesn't convert very well, obviously, because it's very far away from the solution that I'm trying to sell, but they are people who are in the right headspace or ecosystem who may eventually convert. I'm going to just finish this up here and say, yeah, there's probably 20 blog posts at the top of the funnel. Once you have all of these content pieces on your site, the next step is to start finding ways to internally link them all together so that you can start mentioning solutions like how to track users with privacy inside of your analytics for e-commerce. All of those internal links will start to feed each other and help all of the content rise in Google SEO and I guess any of the other anonymous search engines that are popping up these days. All right, I've been talking for nearly 20 minutes now. I am going to end it here. I hope this has been helpful. If you are a business owner, a SaaS founder, startup organizer, whatever you're up to, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're up to, projects that you've got going on, websites you're building. I'd love to take a look and give feedback on them. I hope this has been helpful for anybody looking for an organic content strategy for their business. You're trying to make blog posts at scale. I made all of this basically to say I think it's nonsense that startup founders don't know how to do marketing. Just make content that solves user problems, I think, is my long and short takeaway of this whole thing. If you are not yet building a product that solves active problems, you are going to have a hard time marketing it. First, figure out how to solve user problems and then work your way back up to making organic content about solving that problem. All right, until the next one, I hope you found this helpful. Again, my name is Nick. Hope you have a good rest of the day, week, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.